Let's get right into it. So here's the reality about policies and persistency. With the carriers, and it's one of those funny things where it doesn't make sense until it makes sense, right? The carriers, they don't want low persistency business. And it's funny because people will be like, well, I'll just write with someone else. Like they don't care, bro. They've got billions and billions and billions of dollars. What they don't want is low persistency business. They have a cost in every single application that comes in and in every single policy that goes out. And you think, well, the cost is commissions. That's part of it. They've also got underwriting. They've also got new business service. They've also got data. They've also got technology. Every single application coming into an insurance carrier costs them money. So what they don't want is applications that will cancel. And you say, well, surely they'd be happy if half of my applications stick because that's a they don't they don't play games. It's got to be 75% or higher of your applications to stick in 9 months. Now, I'll tell you this, there's no reason to have 75% persistency. Zero reason. I want you at 98% persistency. I know that's possible. I can show you reports of top people and their persistency. Their policies stay on the books. Now, it's one of those things when you see someone else with way higher numbers or better numbers, it's easy to explain away our numbers, right? Like you see someone that's extremely fit, it's easy to explain away why we're not as fit as they are, right? We'll start right in with it. Well, a lot of that's genetics. And on top of that, you got this and then this reason and that reason and the other reason and this reason and that reason too. And then on top of that, you got this. We'll start explaining, right? Agents do the same thing with persistency. Well, the problem is it's the leads I'm getting. The problem is it's the market I'm working. The problem is it's the state that my policies are in. The problem is the draft dates. The problem is the problem is the problem is. Let me tell you something. The people with high persistency face the same things. And here's how I operate. If one can, I know I can. That makes sense. Like if one can, I know I can. That's why I'm so excited about the seminar system, seeing the results that Bell Krause has got. I'm like, if Bell can do that, I know I can do that. Does that make sense? So if someone's got high persistency, anybody can have high persistency. But you don't understand. See, right? Don't explain away. Here's what I know about excellence. Excellence doesn't require a lot of explanation. Excellence doesn't require a lot of explanation. Excuses require a lot of explanation. But excellence, when somebody's succeeding, that doesn't require a lot of explanation. And I hit this hard at the beginning because what I want you to get your mind wrapped around is anybody can have 98% persistency. Anybody can have 96, 97, 98%. Anybody can have that. But it takes a certain set of behaviors. In other words, it's a certain set of behaviors that create every outcome. An agent with low persistency, it's a certain set of behaviors that are creating that outcome. An agent with high persistency, it's a certain set of behaviors that are creating that outcome. So what I want to talk about is the certain set of behaviors that will create high persistency numbers for you. All right, so number one, and this is number one for a reason. This is a big, big number one. Number one behavior for high persistency is high levels of work ethic. When you are working hard, you will have high levels of persistency. What gets folks in a jam is the ambitiously lazy mindset, where it's like, well, I'll put off working hard today and then I'll just try and cram in a bunch of appointments at the end of the week. When you do that, you push sales that you should never push. When you do that, you forget to do the little things like connecting, like building emotion well. When you've got more appointments than you need, you'll do all the little things right. When you have more appointments than you need, you won't try and shoehorn things in at the last minute. It's those shoehorning in at the last minute that gets folks in trouble. And I've been doing this for 24 years. So I see the behaviors of low persistency. I see the behaviors of high persistency. This is one of the big separators. This is absolutely one of the big separators. People with high persistency don't wait till the last minute to try and cram some business through. This is just not how they operate. And you say, but that's how I operate. Okay, change it. Remember, behavior is chosen. There's some things we can't choose, right? We can't choose genetics or the way the DNA spliced went in when we were created, right? Like me and my youngest brother both have good beards. My middle brother, he couldn't grow a beard if his life depended on it. That he didn't choose that. Does that make sense? That's just the way the DNA cocktail mixed itself up that time, right? Both of my brothers are taller than me. They're both 6 foot or higher. I am not, for those of you that met me in person. I can't control that. That's just the way the DNA. So there's some stuff we can't control, but behavior is always within our control. Behavior is always within our control. So just remember that. If you've been like a last minute trying to cram it in person, just change that. Change that today. Now, here's the crazy thing. Low performers, they're always waiting for a life-changing moment to happen, right? They watch it's they think everything's like a movie, right? High performers go, okay, I changed here. So just choose this. This is the change date. If I've been a last minute trying to cram business in kind of person, then today was the change date. Write it down. It was April 1st, Monday, April 1st at 1:13 p.m. That's when I became a proactive, aggressive business person instead of reactive, try and cram it in at the last minute. This one behavior, and I know I'm hammering. I think I've been on this behavior for about 5 minutes. The reason I'm hammering it, this is one of the big, big, big separators between high persistency and low persistency. Proactive attack mode. More leads than I need, more appointments than I need. Here's what it is. It's operating from abundance. People that complain about bad luck operate in scarcity. And think about it. When we complain about bad luck, it's because we're operating in scarcity. We all have just about the same amount of breaks, just about the same amount of good breaks as bad breaks. But if you're only running a limited amount of appointments, and if everything worked out, and if everything worked out perfectly with this appointment, then everything would be that's scarcity. More leads than I need, more appointments than I need. That's how you create abundance. You can't get to abundance from scarcity. Makes sense. You can get from abundance to scarcity. That happens a lot too, right? People start making more money than they've ever made before, then they start reducing the amount of appointments they ran to make more money than they've ever made before, and then they just reduce. But you can't get to abundance from scarcity. So more appointments than you need, more leads than you need. Operate from that early in the month, early in the week, early. I'm just telling you that mentality is how you end up with high persistency. Behavior number one. Behavior number two, and the next of these start in the home. It's connection. We talk about the 3 C's of connection, right? Commonality, complement, comedy. Making sure you do those things every time. And again, the first behavior, the rest of this stems off of that, right? Like if I've waited till the last minute and I'm trying to cram in 3 applications from the 4 appointments that I did actually book, I'm not going to do all the little behaviors right because I'm trying to cram it in. Does that make sense? Whereas if I'm proactive and on attack, I'm going to do all these behaviors right. But that's the second behavior I see with the difference between high persistency and low persistency. Low persistency folks don't take the time to do the connection piece right. If they don't feel connected to you, they don't care to cancel on you. If they don't feel connected to you, they don't care to cancel on you. Who do you not want to cancel on? A friend. If you connect correctly, you will have made a friend. Now, I'll tell you one thing in the connection piece, and this is just a little like put a star by it. This is a little piece of strategy that's big that will keep you from getting policies canceled. Make a note when you get done running the appointment. If it's virtual, just make a note while you're doing it. If it's afterwards, make a note of it. I mean, if it's in person, make a note of it afterwards. Here's the note. Something personal that I can follow up with them on. Something personal. You find out that they love bowling. And you find out that the bowling's on Wednesday night. So you send them a text about something in the policy and you say, oh, hey, by the way, how did bowling go last night? Oh, hey, by the way, how was your visit with the grandkids over the weekend? I hope it was great. Little things like that are massive when it comes to overall persistency. When you remember something about somebody and then you express that to them, that is a bonding thing. And think about it in your own life. You've seen this. The people you feel bonded to have done those little things like that. The people you don't feel bonded to have not. Very, very simple. So little thing, when you're doing the connection piece or throughout the appointment, find a little thing that you can tie to a follow-up that you do with the client. whether it's a follow-up on the draft or a follow-up on, hey, I got to shoot you a DocuSign because we missed something, whatever, those things that are going to happen. But have a connection piece that you garnered from your initial reaction so that you have that to go back to. I'm telling you, it's a small thing, but put a big star by it. You got to do it every single time. All right. Next thing. Let's see. Next. Oh, here's the reason. A decision made without connection is easily reversed. A decision made without a bond is easily reversed. That was the note I want to make sure we covered there. All right. Third thing. So it's workload, connection. The third thing is also in the home, and that's the level of emotion you take the time to build. If you've built the emotion correctly and they get declined, they will call you and freak out. If you built emotion correctly and their draft bounces, they will call you before you call them. If you have to chase people around about getting an amendment signed, or if the draft bounces chasing, if you have to chase them around, then it's a symptom that we did not build enough emotion. Now, what are the two places in the presentation or in the sales interaction that we build emotion? Stories, situation evaluation. That's the two places that we build the emotion, in those two spaces. And so if we don't build it correctly, we're going to have policies canceled. If we build it correctly and we do it well, you will have 97, 98% persistency. Here's what you want. They're going to see the debit come out, both the initial debit and the ongoing debits. Here's the goal. Here's what I'm trying to get to in building emotion. Not only to move them to address the situation right then and there, but to make them feel a feeling, not think a thought when they see that debit come out. If the emotion has been built correctly, they'll see that debit come out and they'll feel relief. Okay, good. The life insurance cleared. The life insurance cleared. And I'll have clients from years ago that had a bank account change or something like that, and they'll call freaking out. Oh my God, the life insurance. So I got a new account, and they're all over it. It's crazy. Is the power of emotion built correctly? And again, this goes back. That's why I hit the first one so hard. If we're just trying to cram in enough, just barely enough appointments to just barely enough make enough sales to just barely make enough money to get everything we need, we're not going to build. We're going to take time and build emotion slow. We're not going to take the time it takes because we're in reactive, scared scarcity mode. When I've got 20 more appointments to get to, I'm going to take the time and build the emotion correctly every single time. That's why I hit that one word first. So think of this. What level of emotion did I build? What level of persistency will I have? They are going to be linked. You are not going to have someone that builds high levels of emotion in the home and has low persistency. You're not going to have someone that has high persistency that doesn't build high levels of emotion. They are linked. So just know that when you're taking time and you're going through your tonalities and you're giving the listening noises, when you're doing all those things, just know that that's linked. So the higher I get the emotion in the house, the higher the close rate, the higher the keep rate, the higher the persistency. All right, number 4. This is again in the home. This is how you build persistency in the home or on the phone. I say in the home a lot because I'm from the 1900s, so that's how I cut my teeth. I can sell virtually. I can sell in the home. I can sell anywhere. But in the home, the solidify piece. Agents that have low persistency don't do the solidify piece. And again, I hate to keep going back to it, but I want you to understand how important that first thing is. If you're only doing barely enough dials to get barely enough appointments, that if everything works out perfectly, then you're not going to do this because you're in scarcity mode. You're going to be scared to do this. You're going to be operating out of fear, afraid to risk. But I need all these sales. If you have more than you need, you won't ever hesitate to do the solidify piece. That's where we tell the client, sir, ma'am, I just want to tell you how much I respect what y'all are doing here. In fact, I respect it so much that I'm willing to say the following. I'm glad that what's important today is important today. And then I touch back to whatever they said, right? Whether it was making sure that their grandkids don't have to do a GoFundMe to pay for their funeral, whether it was I don't want her to lose the home if I don't come home from work tomorrow, whatever that touch point is, I go right back to it. I'm glad that was important. I'm glad it's important today. But if you think that that won't be important moving forward, then I'd rather not press submit on this application, because to put something in place and then cancel it doesn't help anybody. But if what's important today, and I'd go right back to that touch point, if what's important today is going to be important from here on out, I'm happy to press submit and to go to work for you on this. Now, again, if you only got, I'm trying to cram in the last little app here because I didn't do enough work through the week. You're not going to do it. Scarcity will not allow you to do it. The fear that scarcity produces will not allow you to do it. Again, that's why I hammered point one so much. If you do this, you will have high persistency. This is a high persistency behavior. Every time, every time, every time. The problem with most of the time is that most of the time turns into some of the time. I'm just telling you, it's how we work as human beings. I need hard, fast rules. All the top performers I know are very extreme people. They have very hard and fast rules, right? Can't do this, can't do that. This is how I operate. I got to stay within these lines every time, every time. Now, I will give you this. When it comes to the solidify piece, if I'm at all, especially if I'm new, I'm doing this, but if I'm at all like, I think this will go in IULE, I think it'll go in Pathsetter, but we may have to come back and go to a final expense, or I think it'll go through on this company's final expense, but I know I might have to come back and do a Royal Neighbors or an American Amicable, whatever it is. I will do a decline prep where I'll say, hey, just as a heads up, I feel good that this is going to get approved, but the human factors involved. If for some reason the underwriter makes a decision that just doesn't fit with what I understand, if there's for some reason they decline this, I just want you to know by the time I call you to let you know, I will already have a backup plan in place. Because again, what I want to make sure of is, and I go right back to that touch point, right back to the why. That's just a little extra on there. All right. Number 5, referrals. Agents that have high persistency get referrals. Agents that have low persistencies don't get referrals. Think about referrals and persistency. They're linked. High referrals, high persistency. Low referrals, low persistency. Here's why. People don't cancel what they tell other people to buy. That's how we work as human beings. Once we are an advocate for something, we stay there. That's how we work as human beings. That's why you in the past, you've done it, I've done it, we've all done it, all right? We're human beings. That's how our basic psychology work. We have stayed in an argument that we figured out we were wrong in. It's just hard for us to reverse our position on things as human beings. It's just one of those things. So when I refer you to my friends to get the same product I just got, the psychological weight for me to keep it in place is insanely heavy. It would be hard for me to cancel it when I just told my friends, and I know that you're reaching out to my friends to get policies for them. I've got to do my part. I've got to keep mine in place. So again, it's linked. The higher the referral rate, the higher the persistency. The lower the referrals, the lower the persistency. It's how we work as human beings. Use their network to keep your policies in place. All right, number 6. This is big. It has to do with the draft date. The way I position the draft every single time is, now the way this works, once they approve you, they're going to go ahead and draft that first premium. And again, you won't say that if you only have a little bit of appointments. That's why the first thing's so important. Every single time I say it somewhere. Now they're going to draft that first premium as soon as this is approved. After that, what day of the month works best for the ongoing payments to come out? Low persistency, here's how that goes. We could set this thing to draft 3 weeks out, 4 weeks out. When you start doing now, will you have to do that sometimes because of people's social security schedules? Yes. But that's only when they say I cannot absolutely do this week. Okay, when does your social security come in? We're going to set it for the day after that. So that way we know this gets taken care of every single month. But that is not the option I lead with. I lead with, hey, the way this works is they're going to draft that first premium as soon as this is approved. Now, after that, what day of the month is going to be best for you? I only let up if there's no other way. Again, that's why you got to have more appointments than you need. So you'll be firm and you won't just back down so quick. Now, here's what I'll tell you. The other important piece of this is draft date reminder. In other words, if I know it's going to draft on the 15th because you get your Social Security on the 14th, I put a reminder in my calendar to shoot you a text. Make sure you shoot them a text. Say, hey, just want to let you know, heads up, the draft is coming out tomorrow. Just wanted to make sure I gave you a quick reminder. Oh, hey, by the way, how did bowling go? Does that make sense? You see how you're linking the two together? It also gets you a much higher response rate on text if you do that, by the way. Just basic psychology. It's how we all work as human beings. But do that draft reminder. Do that draft reminder. If it goes the way I want it to go, which most of the time it does, where we're going to draft immediately, as soon as it gets approved, to say, hey, you just got approved. Look for that draft to come out. Oh, hey, by the way, how was the visit with the grandkids? I know you said you were going there this weekend. Hope you guys had a great time. Little personal piece. That's why you do that in the third thing. You have that personal piece to tie to the data message that you need. Because if it's just a data message, it's transactional. If it's a data plus personal, it's friendly, right? All right. Number 7, we'll run out of time here. Number 7, 1 month after the policy has been approved in the first draft, check in with them. Hey, just checking in. Want to make sure everything's going well with the policy. Want to make sure you got it in a good, safe place. Is there any other questions I can help with? Touch points. If you do that, you become different. By the way, all these work together. When you do touch points, you become someone that people want to refer business to. If I'm just going to write an app, never see you again, not going to get a lot of referrals. And then the last one, this is big because we got to get over to the leadership or base shop leadership call. Multiple products. High persistency folks put multiple products in every single home. Again, multiple products, higher persistency. Just one product, lower persistency. So what are those ancillary products? Do they have a hospital indemnity in place? Do they have the like Mutual of Omaha Critical Advantage is a fantastic product, or some other critical illness type product? Say, hey, we got that rider on here, and that's great. But what we don't want to do is bankrupt your life insurance in a time of need. So let's get something in place so that we've got protection for the protection. Write that critical illness, write that cancer policy. I'm telling you that, by the way, I remember you said your mother had cancer. What I wanted to bring to the table, or what I want to help you with, is those multiple products. All right, we got Dial Jam coming up at 2. Then I'll be live training again at 4. We've got View from the Edge next week. I'm so excited, so excited. Can't wait to be there with all of you guys. If you're on the fence, let me push you over the fence. Come on with us. I'm telling you, you will be so grateful. I got done pushing one over the fence over the weekend and they're in. I'm like, yes, they're going to be so grateful. They're going to be so happy. I'm telling you, it's going to be powerful stuff. Guys, let's attack. Let's run more appointments than we've ever run. Let's make more phone calls we've ever made. Let's recruit more new people than we ever have. That way we come into View from the Edge with cash in the bank, deposits getting made. We'll be in the best possible place to absorb the content. Guys, Holly and I love y'all. Let's get out.